Kevin, we're talking about arches, we're talking about Bear Lake, and people are getting in the mood for Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, this week we're going to talk about water temperatures. We're going to talk about all sorts of things that are very summer-esque. But today, let's just talk about how nice a day it is. Moab, Castleton, a few clouds kind of hovering over the eastern border, but really a delightful day. Some of the thicker cloud cover we had earlier has since dissipated in the same story happening here in northern Utah, where Ensign Peak, that once we were dealing with mostly cloudy skies, now we've got mostly sunny conditions, and it's been spectacular. Temperatures were in the mid-50s all day, but we've jumped up just a little bit. Now, I wanted to show you the weekend rain totals. These were huge. Woodland Hills, 1.4 inches this weekend alone, Saturday night into Sunday. Bountiful Bench, 1.33 inches. Morgan, over an inch. Park City, Holiday, Wellsville, all over an inch, and even Logan Golf picked up an inch of rain. So this was so good. Soaked down everything, got everything nice and wet, and now just leave the sprinklers off. You don't need to turn them on. You got plenty of water out of that storm. At least northern and central Utah did. Southern Utah lacked a little bit. 57 in Salt Lake City was all we could muster today. We're in a cold northwesterly flow, and we stopped there in the 50s. It could have been worse. Rapid City and Bismarck, they didn't make it out of the 40s. Minneapolis in the 50s, Chicago 53. A strong cold front and low pressure center working its way across the Midwest, creating tornado warnings and all sorts of problems across that part of the country. 58 in Vernal. It's 55 in Salt Lake City right now, and those 50s go all the way south to Cedar City, where it's 58. St. George, quite a difference, 81 in the southwest corner, and Las Vegas is currently 85. To the west, well, there's that huge low pressure that continues to go, and there's actually two low pressures. One that's going through parts of eastern Colorado. The second is currently up along the Dakota lines, but both of these are pushing big-time severe storms ahead of them. We're still dealing with that little northwesterly flow. It's a little cold, and we're going to continue to see these little weak pieces graze northern Utah and southern Idaho. First one goes by tomorrow afternoon. Some thick clouds and maybe a chance for a few showers and thunderstorms. Montpelier, Bear Lake Way, and up towards Star Valley. We get a bit of a break. Wednesday looks great, lots of sunshine. But then that next little piece goes by on Thursday. Same deal, little brush by across the northern border and into southern Idaho. But really, temperatures are going to warm over the next 7 days as we approach the holiday weekend, and it's going to be fantastic. Now, tomorrow, Nephi goes to 68, 70s return to Price and Richfield, Green River, a little closer to normal. Cedar City to 74 degrees, but those overnight lows still chilly, 25 in Panguitch. Loa drops to 24, so some very cold nights, some freeze warnings in effect for central Utah and most of western Utah, actually, because of the clear skies. St. George, 80s turn to 90s, and we peak on Thursday, 97. That's 10 degrees above normal, and we're going to stay in the 90s all the way through Memorial Day in southern Utah. Northern Utah, got a thunderstorm in from Montpelier to Star Valley. Otherwise, it should be a partly cloudy day with temperatures in the 70s in Salt Lake and Sandy. Provo starts at 41 and will climb to 70 degrees in the afternoon. 7-day forecast, look at this warm up. 70s turn to 80s, and then we just kind of settle. Upper 70s and low 80s all the way through the Memorial Day weekend. I'm telling you, that's pool weather. It just looks absolutely fantastic. So it should be a good week and a nice weekend.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah.
All right, thanks.
You bet.